Hello, people. It's your boss man back again with another podcast with the homies. Benji, how you feeling?
Good, bro. Good. How are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. Obviously, we've got two special guests. Sandy Kojo could not make it today. We have got Jem and Manib. How you doing, boys?
I'm good. I'm good. Just I have a little bit of cold, so I'm sure I'll be fine.
Good, thank you.
Okay, that's good. It's good to have you both on. Obviously, it's good to have different opinions. As always, their links will be in the description, so be sure to show them love. Drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into the video. There's a lot to discuss off the back of a fantastic 5-2 victory against Bournemouth. I'm expecting some positivity, but you never know with these lads, so we'll have to wait and see. Jem, know what? We'll come to you first. First and foremost, what were your thoughts on the performance against Bournemouth?
It was a splendid performance from the team, man. I've always been thinking about if, let's say, we concede early, what happens? What kind of reaction are we going to come up with? So I think before we were going to the game, there a lot of people were confident that we are going to score 5-0, 6-0. So I was a little bit cautious. So when they scored the first, I said, hey, how are we going to react? But we reacted very well, and I was very pleased with the team. This is not like the team like a year ago. If they were down by a goal, they would just give up. But things have totally changed now, and it was a very good performance by totally. I think everybody, with the exception of Harry Maguire, which he was a little bit of a suspect in the game.
Yeah, we'll touch on Maguire today.
But the team in general, it was a very good reaction to the early lead by Bournemouth. It was a good game.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point you made regarding, us in terms of how we would react to going behind, because the previous games we've always been ahead, and then obviously we've been able to build on that. So that in my personal opinion, when we went behind, I wasn't sure how we'd react as well. So it's good to see the positive reaction. Obviously, we're going into half at 3-1. Mani, what were your thoughts on the overall performance against Bournemouth?
To be honest, I thought it was a good performance in the second half, and especially as Mason got the first goal and he scored, and then I think the confidence built from that. Also, I think in the previous years, like the post-Fergie era, this team probably would have drawn or lost most likely. I think I was confident in the team, and I want to say I don't want to say Ole just now. Don't want to give him all the credit right now. But I think with the mentality of Bruno and Pogba, they didn't want to lose that day, and that's hopefully it's going to continue on till we finish the season. Hopefully win some trophies because they got good mentality in their heads.
I think it's quite out there. Yeah, regarding the mentality, obviously that is something that we've massively liked. We've always spoken about the lack of leadership within the team, and it's quite evident now with the likes of Bruno and the addition of Pogba back in the team that they're not willing to obviously drop points, and obviously they're going to carry the rest of the team. The beautiful eyes of Benji, what are you saying? What are your thoughts?
Bro, you know what it is? It was a good game. I think the game was actually funny to me because I feel like it's like how back in the day when a team would score against us first at Old Trafford, and then the third team will get angry and put a right winger on the right back, and we'll just beat them like 4-5-0. I think it was a very. I feel like us conceding the first goal was very good for us. It's like what Jem said. I feel like we need to see what we're like when we go behind, because we've been able to beat everyone 3-0, but when we go behind that, we still want to not force the passes, but we still want to play those creative passes, and we still want to link up with the player, and still want to play good football. Because when you go down, everyone's heads could drop, and it's like,
yeah, definitely.
We look a bit different now. I feel like the mentality of the winners that we have in our squad now. Obviously, a World Cup winner, you got Bruno as well. Matic has won Premier Leagues. A few more winners in the squad is actually helping us get through the day. But obviously, credit to Oli because
what? You give credit to Oli? No way. Boys, I've got it on video. There we go. Wrap it up.
Credit to Oli for staying calm on the sidelines. I think he done well there. I'm not Oli in, but I'm just saying he done well there to get the team round up for the comeback. But yeah, credit to Oli to us.
Yo, I never thought I'd hear those words come out of your mouth, I'm not going to lie. But obviously, I think you do have to give a lot of credit to Ali. I think it's good to acknowledge that you're not deluded in it and you can give credit where it's due. But I want to talk about, obviously, the man of the show. A lot of people, as always, will be talking about Bruno. But for me, just the most two critical goals in that game, without a doubt, were Mason Greenwood's. Obviously, the first goal to get us back level, we talked about the ability to come back from a goal behind and be straight away, man. Ice in his veins, no mistake. And in the second goal, it was 3-2. They had a goal disallowed via offside, luckily on our part. And then Mason Greenwood again steadies the nerves with obviously the second goal of the game. Jem, what were your thoughts on not just his performance, but the performance of the front three?
The front three. I can say that I have been only out from the beginning. Sorry, only in from the beginning.
All right.
I have to let me come back. And I've supported every decision he has made. So the front three, I'm very happy, very, very happy. And like you rightly said, Greenwood's goal was very crucial because the first goal was very important to get us back into the game. Then the third goal his second, which was the third goal that he scored, was also to give us the confidence to keep on scoring. And now you can see now Martial has 20 goals throughout the whole season. Rashford has 20. Then Greenwood has 15. And it's encouraging. I'm a very proud dad because I've been watching Greenwood since he was a kid. And I remember I was in the United group. I was always talking about Greenwood. They told me I'm just hyping the ball. But when he came, and he has proven me right, so I'm always happy when he scores. I keep jumping anytime he scores. Then my wife asks what's wrong with me. It's happy days for us to have such front three who have scored at least double figures within the season. It's very good. It's very, very good, and it helps build the confidence of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you mentioned Greenwood about all their stats in particular. I think it's the first time since 2011 since we've had two strikers in the 20. I think it was Berbatov and Hernandez, not
wrong. Yes, Berbatov.
Yeah, so obviously that's definitely a positive. Just coming back to Greenwood, Manif, regarding his potential, I don't want to get too carried away because we've seen this with other players at United. Obviously, most famously Makeda, his goal last minute. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is the next coming of Jesus." Or even Januzaj, to be fair. Obviously, we know his ceiling's high, but what were your thoughts on Greenwood? All people overhyping him.
Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. Yeah.
I don't think.
I think he's cut off.
I don't think people are overhyping him. I don't think people are overhyping him as much as people are saying on the other side. Because if you look at his numbers in the academy, they're better than Jadon Sancho was, and he was the next big star. And as you've seen what he's done at Dortmund, he's gone to the next level, but he didn't go there as a professional. He went there as an academy player first. For the first 6 months he played in the academy, they didn't sign him to be the first team regular at first, which is what Greenwood has done. He hasn't come in instantly and made to be this prominent right winger. He's kind of gelled into this team step by step. Like you see, he came into cup games and then subbed on for the Premier League games and scored against Sheffield his first ever Premier League goal. So I think it's good the way he's been introduced. To be honest, with the potential, I think if you look at Jadon Sancho and his potential and what he's achieved and whether he's overachieved with what people were saying, I think Greenwood's going to do better, if not match the level that Sancho has reached. However, the attacking players in Germany always do much better than attacking players in English Premier League. For some reason, I don't know if it's with the tactics of the man management, their teams just attack more fluidly and they focus on attack more than defensive. That's why German teams struggle in Europe against the English team like last year with Liverpool, and Dortmund not even winning against PSG when they should have, in my opinion. But I think it's encouraging, but I think with the right manager, right team behind him, Greenwood should be better, if not matching the potential of other top stars.
Yeah, you obviously you alluded to the German players, the players that play in the Bundesliga tend to have a better outlet in terms of attacking sort of threat, so to speak. From my personal viewing of the German football. It just seems like the defense ain't as good, but that doesn't take away from the qualities that they definitely have up front. You mentioned Jadon Sancho briefly, and you almost compared them to an extent. My next question was actually regarding Jadon Sancho, so I'll throw it to you, Benji. Again, this isn't my view, and this is just what people are saying, and I'm going to ask you. Do we need Jadon Sancho? Is the question.
100% yes. 100% yes. Do you know what it is? I was talking to a couple of my friends earlier. They were saying, we don't need Sancho, so we have Greenwood and all this. Do you know what it is? Manchester United as a football club, as a team, we need to start progressing forward and securing all the best young talent in the sense around the world. Because you have to understand that if he doesn't come to us and go to another top rival club, then we played him in the Champions League and he comes and scores a hat-trick against us or something like that. We need competition up front. Martial is injury prone. Rashford can get injured. And one of the great things about Man United is that when we get to December, everyone is burnt out on our feet. Now, if you look at the Mourinho season, we started off well, stuff happened, but around December, everyone was on their feet because we played the same team over and over again. Lukaku literally played every single game up front, apart from maybe like 2 or 3. We need to have rotation. I don't know if this was me, I'll go and get Sancho, then I'll go and get Leon Bailey as well. Because Leon Bailey is 20, 30 million. Because you need, the thing is, look at Man City. 4 world-class wingers, and they'll start for every team in the Premier apart from Liverpool.
Wow,
You can argue Tottenham.
What about the Academy?
They have Son, Mora, Bergwijn, and
that's it.
But you see what I'm saying? They still have players that have options. We need more options, bro, because we're going to be in the Champions League, man, hopefully. We're going to be in the FA Cup, we're going to be in the League Cup, and we're going to be in the Prem. We need options. If you don't have the options, then I feel like we're going to lack. Sancho's a must. Greenwood is good, but we need to relax a little bit, okay? I think we need to stop. Don't push him in too much. He can come and play. He can play 30 games a season, but it doesn't mean he has to be guaranteed starter. Everyone has to work for their position. I think Sancho comes in, Rashford has to improve because he knows that if he's not playing well, he's going to get benched. If Sancho comes in, Martial has to improve. So if he's going to improve, Rashford can move to the middle, Sancho can go to the left. Greenwood will improve as well. So it's like you need that competition. The same with Pogba. Pogba can do a 5 or 6 out of 10 because he knows he's going to start every game. That's how it was back in the day. But now Pogba can get dropped and then Fred can come in. Fred is not as good as Pogba, but there's options. Because you have Bruno Fernandes, if Bruno does a stinker, he can get dropped and someone else can come in. So it's like we need to start having more players that can compete and take us to the next level. Or when we get to like December, January, we'll struggle. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I completely agree. We definitely need to get Sancho. Obviously, I'll pass it up to you, Jem, shortly. But I just think, coming back to what Manib said as well regarding the way Ollie's kind of blooded in Greenwood, I think that's what he needs to continue to do. I don't think you need to be putting the weight of the club's expectations on the 18-year-old. It's not fair on his development as well. We've seen that with the likes of Rashford under Jose Mourinho, and I don't think Van Gaal played him, but under Jose, I think, did Van Gaal play Rashford? Was it him who gave his debut? Yeah, it was him who gave his debut.
Yeah.
But under
them, the start.
Against Midtjylland. But in Rashford's early years, obviously still there, but he just had too much pressure on him, and it did affect him. It was a detriment to him in terms of a psychological aspect, and we don't want that with Greenwood. It's quite clear that this guy could be a generation talent, right or left foot. It doesn't matter. He's got Van Persie-esque technique, so we do need to protect him. For me, Jadon Sancho is an absolute no-brainer. Sign him. But Jem, I'll pass it to you. What are your thoughts? Do you agree, or do you have an alternative view?
I think whether it's Sancho or whoever, we need a right winger. We definitely need a right winger because at the end of the day, Greenwood is not a winger; he's a striker.
Yeah.
So he's a centre forward, and he likes to score goals. And you see, the advantage we have is that he can cut in at any time, and he can use both feet, and that's an advantage. That makes him a better option than James, because he has an eye for a goal. He can dribble. He has the pace. But like what Benji was saying, we need squad depth. We need squad depth. So I will go in for buy people, buy quality, so that when, let's say, somebody is injured, somebody can cover. because we cannot just rely on the same team, keep on playing. Before December, they might all be tired, and that's when we tend to decline. So it's always important that you have a full squad. Like if you look at the team of City has
So there's a huge echo.
squad in there. Even though
Yeah, I
they are
think
Benji
so,
can start the whole team. They are playing. It's good for somebody's first lineup. So it's important that we buy quality and have a very good bench and a very Liverpool like they have only 14 players. Very good 14. The rest they are not good. That's why last season they were struggling. But this season, I believe that the Premiership was not that competitive. That's why they won in this season. The Premiership was not that competitive. That's why they won in this season.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Obviously, you kind of sort of alluded to the amount of matches as well that we're going to potentially play. I believe if you go to all of the competitions this season, we're going to be playing mostly 64 games. So again, you can't expect one player, i.e. Greenwood, for example, playing all 60 games. He needs to be playing 30. I.e. does like Sancho needs to be playing 40. So it definitely makes sense to get some more strength and depth. Just another, not avenue, but another position that has been up for debate of late is the centre-back position. Of course, that is kind of surrounding Maguire's 2 mistakes, getting absolutely destroyed. I don't know if you watched my watch-along, but I thought it was Lindelof initially, and I was kept slagging Lindelof off. But when I realised it was actually Maguire. But Maguire 2 mistakes in, 4 games or something, Minnie. What are your thoughts on the centre-back position?
Centre-back, I think people are overhyping the situation that we're in. We're not in a dire situation to get a centre back, but I think we do need a centre back because Rojo's in the go. Well, he's already Smalling. I think he's got future at United, and he shouldn't. And Phil Jones, I don't get what Jem said. He hasn't made a bad decision, but he gave 6 years to Phil Jones, 1 month after being in the management. How's that a good decision from Wale? I don't understand that. Having said that, I think Ake is rumoured since the game. I think if you put Ake with Lindelof, I think he could be a very good partnership. Because if you go to the season before Maguire last season, Lindelof and Bailey were doing very good, but Lindelof was showing his potential. Maguire, I think he's got to be pushed. I think he's just made a skipper for God knows why. So he should be given some competition.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. It's
we do need to.
Yeah, it's quite clear the other 2 guys probably don't agree with your mention of Ake. I don't know if obviously I can't speak on behalf of them, but for me personally, I genuinely think he's massively overrated. Although every time he plays against Man United, he turns into Nesta. I don't know why, but in general, even when he went back to Chelsea, there was a reason why he got sold again. You know, he's from Chelsea. For me personally, I wouldn't go for Ake, but I'll pass it over to Benji because he was literally practically banging in his head and his eyes onto the table. So Benji, what were your thoughts on Maguire and of course the potential acquisition of
the thing is with Maguire, I think the thing is it depends. I feel like a lot of people don't actually play football when you can actually see who plays football, who doesn't. Like the biggest mistake he made was running out on the set too quickly. But when you're in the penalty box, you run out and just like do anything to try and stop the ball from going. But you just have to put it down to world-class skill from standard stats at the end of the day. I mean, people are not giving him the credit for the skill he deserves. Like Maguire, I would have done the same thing. If the ball's there, you're quickly trying to run it down to close it down.
But I'd sell you as well, Benji, then if that was you, mate.
No, but I feel like if you're in that position, it's hard not to run out like all guns blazing. Maguire's had a very, very good season for us. Because if you look at it, Van Dijk, I've seen videos of Van Dijk being put on his bum as well. So does that mean that Liverpool should sell Van Dijk? No, it doesn't. When that guy from, is it Minamino, he spun him and he made Van Dijk do a lunge on the pitch. Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying.
But Rashford as well, to be fair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These things happen. When you play against people that are quick, you've got to be at pace. It happens, but in terms of the fan Ake, look, it's a no. If as Manchester United we sign the fan Ake, I am only out for good because
Yes.
this guy is not good. He's small. He's not strong. He's not exactly that quick. I don't know how about his ball playing, but he plays for Bournemouth.
They get relegated, so
Exactly. We need to stop this penny pinching. Like, go out and buy the top players instead of buying Ake. Then next year we're saying we don't want Ake. How about Shabba keep buying or bring Small back alone? So
but Ben, your head has just disappeared more and more as the video's going.
Sorry, man.
You just see the tip of your head. Yeah, you can see it gorgeous eyes again.
Aki's a no-go zone.
I've got a question. Would you say Mings?
No.
Mings.
No. Look, if you're gonna buy a centre back,
Who did you say?
the thing is, I wouldn't even buy a centre back this summer. I'll wait because I don't think it's that crucial to go and buy a centre back. But I would actually wait. I'll prefer if you go and buy 2 forwards and a DM instead of buying a centre back because Lindelof, Maguire, and Eric Bailly, they can do okay for another season. We don't need another centre back. If we go and buy another centre back, it has to be a top quality like Koulibaly or someone. Like, it has to be someone that's ready made. But what we can do is go and buy that guy from Norwich, the 21, I think his name's Ben Godfrey or whatever. Get someone like that in, put him on the bench for a season, then maybe he'll be ready next season. But I don't see the need to buy another centre back. We need forwards, we need attacking players to come off the bench and change the game. We don't have that. We have centre backs, we have Twan Zemi, we have Mendy.
Yeah, but he's injury prone, isn't he?
Yeah, but we have Mendy in the youth team as well. I want to give him a go. Why would you buy Ake and not give Mendy a go? So
yeah, that's a good point, to be fair.
I would much rather play Luke Shaw left back than get Ake. No way.
Luke Shaw.
No way.
Right, okay, so I'm assuming you don't want Ake then. I don't know, just something just.
Jeb don't want Ake either. Jeb don't want Ake.
Just before I pass it to you, Jeb, just regarding this Maguire stuff, there's no way I'm insinuating that we should sell him, by the way. I was just throwing the question out to the devil's advocate. And also regarding the skill, it was good skill by Stanislas, but he should never get caught flat-footed like that for me. He's got to do better, man. But anyway, Jeb, I'll pass it to you, mate. What are your thoughts on the Maguire situation, and obviously, do you think we need a centre back?
I think like Benny, I think that Benny or Mohin said, I think we are overreacting. We're overreacting about this whole issue. You see, I was having a conversation with some people, and I was telling them that they talk about we had the best centre back partnership between Vidic and Rio, but they made a lot of mistakes. Especially Vidic, when he came up against a player, he was left dead. He was chewing grass. And you have sorry, then you
chewing grass, you know.
You have
I love that.
Rio committing errors and scoring own goals. So I told them it's not, it happens. You can't have a perfect back like that. So we are just blowing out of proportion. But I know for sure United will sign a CB. But it will not be a top class. It will be they're after somebody in the championship.
Oh, championship. Yeah.
There's a player from championship that they want to sign. Then because Transebi, you can't trust him. I'm sure United will sell him. They might sell him. They might sell him.
I have high hopes for Transebi. I know he's injury prone at the moment, but at the same time, I do have high hopes for him.
They might sell him. Either they will use him as part of the deal to get Jack Grealish. That's what I'm hearing. They might use him as part of the deal to get Jack Grealish and get him on loan or something.
Yeah, to be fair, that's actually not a bad shout, actually, now that I think about it. Because obviously he was at Aston Villa as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a couple of other players that, before we go into Ali himself, he's been in the sort of headlights, so to speak. David De Gea, again, another mistake from him. For me personally, people might not credit him as his mistake, but me personally, I think it is De Gea's mistake. Because at the end of the day, okay, granted, Maguire can get done by a Megs, your fair play to Stanislas, whatever. But there's no way a goalkeeper of his ilk should get done near post. Manib, what are your thoughts? Is Manib still there? I think you might have blacked out. Right, Benji, we'll pass it to you until Manib gets his connection back. Right, Benny, we can't currently hear you. I don't know if you can hear us. Benji, we'll just come to you. Hopefully, you can obviously reconnect in a second.
With the game, it's a bit 50-50. I don't really. I just, like I said, I just think it's a good shot. Like, I mean, it's hard. Obviously, you shouldn't get beaten on their post, but what he's also thinking is that there was also a cutback as well.
Yeah, but would you not say as a defender, I've got the cutback. If it goes in via the cutback, it's it's not you.
I think, like I said, I think it's like what Muniz said. I thought we're overreacting too much. I think, you know what it is? When you support Man United, no matter what happens, you see everything on Twitter, everything will get blown out of proportion. I think I've seen those shots happen all the time. I've seen people go and bang those shots in the top corner and hit the crossbar and come down. Obviously, he should have let in their post, but like I said, it's another good shot. Like, De Gea was also thinking about the cutback, I believe. But I think it was just a good shot. And but at the same time, I feel as if like he needs to cut out certain errors from the game, like we said before. But I want to give him a bit of credit though. I think his kicking has improved massively. I think he looks more comfortable on the ball.
What?
So I know this got nothing to do with it.
After the Bournemouth game, the one that he basically passed them one of the goals that it looked it was offside.
Everton, no.
No, but of course you're gonna make mistakes. But I feel like of course you're gonna make mistakes. But I feel like he is better. You see how before with Mourinho, everyone's just like a long ball. He's even dinking it over people, playing it around the corner. He just needs a little bit more comfortable. But obviously that's not gonna get seen. But I just feel like we should just allow him a little bit. I think you know what, yeah. If he does that in like a big game against like a Chelsea or like Europe League, I think he might be finished at the club.
Oh, okay, that's different.
These type of games, it's not really that highlighted because whatever in it, but I still feel like it's not really his fault too tight. It's just a good shot.
Wow, okay. I personally think you're being too lenient on De Gea. I'll probably give benefit of doubt to Maguire because, like I said, you can't get megged. I'm not to say you can't get beaten near post, but again, I just hold De Gea to such high regard. There's no way in a million years you get beaten by that. If they square the ball, and I don't know, I think it might be Josh King. He tapped it into an open net. You got to blame the defender for not marking the player. He's got to cut his angles. Jem, what are your thoughts?
My thing is we are. I'll keep on saying we are over exaggerating about this whole thing here. You see, I've watched Van der Sar near post being beaten at this near post, but nobody complained about it because people are now talking about it because of the errors that De Gea has been making. That is making them talk a lot about it.
But it's not one or two, though, is it? It's 17.
That's the problem because it's reoccurring, and that's why people are talking about it. But it happens, and for me, I don't have any problem. And sometimes I feel like it's an agenda by the English players, the ex-players, to get Dean Henderson into our post, but I believe not having that, you will keep on having De Gea in the post. So it feels like Dean Henderson is okay. It's right for the post now, but for now, De Gea will make mistakes. He but I think yesterday I was watching our match against Bayern Munich, the Champions League, when Ian Ruben scored that. One volley, half volley.
Yeah.
I feel like Van der Sar could have saved it, but he couldn't reach it. If it had been De Gea this time, oh my God!
Oh come on! Are you on about Robin's volley from edge of box?
Yeah.
How is he gonna save that? That's one of the baddest goals.
Good. If it had been De Gea, if they had been De Gea,
nah. Nobody's gonna. Come on, man! As soon as I hit Robin's foot, you know that's a goal, man. No one's blaming people for that.
But I just believe that. Recently I was listening to is it Eric? There was this assistant coach who came with Van Gaal. He said that De Gea will be okay. He'll be okay. It's normal that he's going through that process. He'll be fine. He has a very strong mentality because if maybe I'd be me, I'm not sure I'll be able to keep the post because I'll be careful in how to handle the ball so that I don't get the media back. People talk about this Man City, their goalkeeper. Yesterday, he has to make a lot of mistakes, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah, I suppose that is a valid point. I think regarding the people overreacting, I think that's definitely something that happens a lot in many fan bases, not just ours. But I think with the Maguire one, I agree, it's definitely overreaction. I don't think we conceded 6 goals in 16 games, and people need to have a bit of sort of, they need to look at it from an objective point of view as well. It's not a big deal, man. We're actually doing quite well. But we'll come back to De Gea. I'm sure we'll have more talking points. I don't know where Manib's gone. I don't know if you can hear Manib, but if you could just mute your mic for a second when you're moving about, because there's quite a lot of static. Okay, we'll just finish on the questions from some of the guys from the WhatsApp group of it all in, of course. So I've got 3 questions I picked out from some of the questions that they asked. The first one's practically the most on-topic one. It comes from Sebastian from the group. We'll come to you, Benji, first and foremost. What are your thoughts on Matic's new contract? 3 years, I believe.
You see, the thing is, with this group chat, when someone posts stuff like this into the group chat, I get so angry. 3 years is a long time. How old is he now? 32. He's going to be 35. What are we doing?
Yeah, that's right.
35 now with bills. Like, give him a year contract. This is what I'm saying with Ollie. Like, you play good for like 2 games, automatically you're our saviour. Ooh, stop this sentiment rubbish. Like, I just don't understand. 3 years is too long. I know Jem's gonna disagree, but I'm 3 years is too long. It's a joke.
Okay, but we'll know what Benji thinks. Jem, we'll get what you think then. What your thoughts? Jem, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think the thing is, it's 2 years plus 1 year. We have the chance to trigger a year contract, so it's okay. And like Benji was saying that it's not. You see, Matic has not just only played 2 games and has been rewarded. No. You see, you have to understand something. Now we are in this pandemic, and we have to be careful about how we spend. That's a smart move to do. You keep the players that you have, so that you don't need to spend that much. Because now I'm sure because we are not having fans coming to the stadium, we are being hit in a certain way. We have to be very smart, and I think it's a very smart deal that we've done. You keep him, then you look for a replacement. I think the actual replacement that only wants is either Fred or Tomani or Ghana. Because definitely, I'm sure Matic will not stay in United for more than a year. He will definitely go.
Right. Okay. So if you're saying he's not going to stay for over a year, why offer him 3 years then? Why not offer 2 years?
Just in case you are selling, you can get something out of it.
But I still think
But
for me personally,
remember, this is Ollie's best friend that's talking.
Ollie
does. He praises it.
which is fine because obviously you're the opposite, aren't you? So for me personally, I think 3 years is too much. I've got to be honest. I would have given him just another year with the roll on. Manib, sorry to interrupt, boys. Manib, I don't know if you can hear us. Can you just mute your mic for a second because there's a lot of noise in the background. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, so I think I would have just given him an extra year and just done a roll on basically, and then just continued it like that. And depending on how his situation is, it would be interesting to see what influence he'll have on the younger players, i.e., like the Ghana that you mentioned, and hopefully he can potentially nurture them or pass on some experience.
But I have a question to Jam though. Next season, do you reckon that Matic can play 60 games in the first midfield?
No.
Come again.
Next season, do you reckon Matic can play 40 games next season?
No, he's definitely not going to play.
So why are we giving him a 3-year contract?
You see, the thing is, if you read what Oli said, and I think
it's annoying.
What Oli said was that he's a professional and he has an influence on the younger player, the youth player.
But the influence, bro. We need players
because we need them. You see, Benji, we need people like that.
That can do the job.
You see, we need
school teachers,
in every team. You need those, like, let's say, leaders in your dressing room. And we've lacked that for years.
Yeah, but not for 3 years, though, Jeff. Come on. Surely even you can. Look, I'm a massive Ali fan, right? But even I think that's ridiculous. He's going to be 35. There was a lot of. He's going to be 35, touching 36.
But we had. How old was what's his name? Michael Carrick when he retired.
Oh, come on, man. That's different, man. That's Michael Carrick, man. Do you know what I mean? I thought Matic was past it last season. Obviously, he's proved me wrong, but there's no way he's going to play 30 games next season at most. maybe 40, give or take. And then the season after, he's going to play like 10 games or whatever it may be. I just think it's pointless. Look, we get rid of Matic. I think we need to give Matic another 1 year. That's it. But anyways, let's move on from that. We've got 2 more questions. I want to wrap the video up in a couple of minutes. So next question comes from Kish. Obviously, he wanted to be on the show, but sadly couldn't make it. Hopefully next time. His question is, Benji, will come to you. Are we league title contenders next year? If not, why?
What do you mean by title contender, though?
Basically, challenging for a title, being up there basically with Liverpool and Man City. That's Kish's question.
I don't think you can really answer that question properly until the summer transfer window is closed. The reason why I'm saying that because we might go out and buy 3 for World Club. We might go buy, let's say we go buy Sancho, Van der Beek, Koulibaly, and I don't know.
Well, are you dreaming, bro?
No, but let's say we get Sancho, Grealish, and Van der Beek. Okay, we could move up to second easily, but then Man City might go and buy Koulibaly and 2 wingers and a striker. Then they move up, so it's a bit 50-50. But currently, I think we'll finish third next season. But Liverpool, Man City are just better than us. We can't get too carried away because we're beating Bournemouth and that. When we play Man City and Liverpool, or when we play the FA Cup, we'll see. And Chelsea's got a fantastic squad as well, so we might even be fighting for top 4 next season.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get too carried away. Like, we have to also think that everyone around. Imagine Lampard's football with Ziyech, Werner. They're talking about Kai Havertz. Come on, man. We need to relax. We're too excited as Man United fans, honestly.
Well, he never insinuated that we're going to be title contenders. He's only asking the question. So
man. Title contenders. Nah.
Okay, Jem.
We'll finish 10 points behind them, though.
Okay. Well, I'll take that. Jem, I'll throw it to you and your lovely curtains.
Thank you.
You really got Wi-Fi outside or something.
But the thing is, we are not there yet. Even can really accept that we are not there yet. We can challenge, not really challenge, but put up a fight. Let me put that. No. We can put up a fight. Then we can get better position than we are now, because now we are struggling to even get to the top 4. But next year, if we get, I think we might buy only 2, and with that we can maybe push up to get into the top 3, like what Benji was saying. I believe we are not ready yet. A year or 2, then we'll be ready, because our team is not good enough to win the title or to even challenge for a title.
Yeah, I agree with a lot what Benji said. I think you can only answer the question come the end of the transfer window. It's hard to trust this board. Last summer, we should have bought Bruno. We didn't buy Bruno. We were all adamant that we were gonna buy Bruno.
Imagine if we sold Pogba.
That's what I'm saying. So I think we have to wait until the window's closed to assess the situation then. But I do agree. If we do sign a couple of players, we can potentially plug the gap. But we'll just have to wait and see come the end of the transfer window. Okay, last question, and then obviously we'll wrap up the video. Last question comes from Yusuf again from Maniv's back. Hopefully you can hear us. Maniv, can you hear us?
Yeah. I had to switch to my phone.
Oh, what? I can hear. This is perfect.
This is better, man.
We should have started off with this, mate.
You're clearer than all of us now.
I had to switch the phone.
Oh my God, Maniv, it's literally perfect audio and everything. You're not like
before you sound like you're in space, mate.
Okay.
It's a very inconvenient.
Okay, all right, it's fine. Okay, we'll ask you the question then, because as it's working now. Kish from the group asked, are we title contenders next season? And if not, why?
No, we're not.
There you go, Kish. Why not?
We've still got to look for Liverpool and Chelsea and their transfer targets. There's no way we can compete with... Well, there is a way if we splash out on Sancho, Saul Niguez, Koulibaly.
You're dreaming, bro. You're dreaming.
FIFA.
You're playing.
Not even on FIFA. That's gonna really come through, mate. I'm telling you.
And also, I think City's gonna, with Guardiola having his last year with City, he's gonna look to win everything. So he's gonna go all out in the transfer window as well. So we are contenders, but not think we're gonna challenge.
Okay, that's a fair point. I probably agree with what the lads have said. The last question comes from Yusuf. Actually, I think we've kind of answered it anyways, but I'll ask it anyway. So shout out to Yusuf. What is the next step? We'll stay with you, Manib, because obviously you've missed a bit of the show because of the audio. What is the next step for Man United? Sorry, apologies. What is the next step?
Do you know Jem looks like Marnie? Did anyone else? Was anyone think that?
Who he looks like Mane?
Yeah, you don't think?
I was thinking Akon, you know.
Nah, he looks a lot like Marnie.
Nah, you don't look like Mane, man. Let us know in the comments below. I was thinking Akon, man. I don't know.
Maybe
Anyways, Manib, what's the next step for Man United?
A player called Soleimani.
Yeah, he don't look like Soleimani. I don't think so, anyways. We'll let the comments decide. Well, Benji looks like a wall at the moment. We can't even see his eyes. There he is. He's back. He's back. He's back. That was that Undertaker getting up, man. You know, that was. All right, Manib, last question to you, mate. Obviously, we've got to let everyone have their words. Okay, so what are the thoughts? Where are we at the moment in terms of challenging? What would you say?
I think Ole's done what's expected of him. But I think people, just like with every other fan, before the season they say, "Oh, I'll be happy with top 4." But as you get along, they say, "Oh, why didn't we win this? Why didn't we better?" So I think people kind of make their expectations higher as the season goes along, which is unfair because you don't have that in the first place. I think they've done all right. I think they've improved on some of the areas because in the first few months, the defensive part was decent. I won't say good, and goal scoring wasn't there at all. Now, the scoring goals were conceding. They were before, even though we have kept clean sheets, I think there's still doubts in our defence. But I think Ole's done all right. And the players, especially Bruno, helping out the team and Pogba, of course. It makes a big difference than what the team was before.
Okay, I think that's a fair point. I think regarding the expectations, you made a very good point there. I think a lot of people at the start of the season, including myself, our only expectation was to get top 4. That was the main thing. If you finish this third, then you've got to say, no, fair play to Ali. Even Benji's going to have to say, fair play to Ali. He's had a good season. Anyways, boys, we're going to leave it there because obviously you boys have already answered that question previously. Apart from that, just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for your time. I know it's been a lot longer than we expected, but as always, check the links out in the description. I'm assuming it's going to be Twitter. If not, obviously there'll be some link in there somewhere. But apart from that, drop a like, subscribe.